What up, y'all? Before we kick off the episode, we want to let you know that we have a gift for our 3,000th patron. We have over 3,000 patrons over at the Right Pack, which is www.righteousandratchet.com, where $5 gets you double the righteous, double the ratchet. Bonus episode every single week. And exclusive content. We chat over there. It's a whole budding community, Doboy.
And in recognition of us hitting 3,000 Patreons, we have decided to fly out a lucky Patreon member, let them have a meal with us, and meet us in person.
Somebody getting flued out to LA.
All expenses paid.
All expenses is paid for. You feel me? And that lucky winner is, drumroll please. Get off me. Charnay Ruth, you have won a free trip to Los Angeles, California to have a meal with Dobithius and myself. You can expect an email from our team. We'll arrange the travel and all that, and we're going to feed you a good meal. And if you would
like to be a part of the Patreon,
patron,
it's called. The next milestone we are going to acknowledge will be the 5,000th member, and we will give that lucky person $1,000.
$1,000,
a whole
US dollars will be given away when we hit 5,000.
So go ahead, spend $5 with us. You might win 1,000.
You might. It's like a raffle, but in the midst of the raffle, you get double the righteous, double the ratchet. It gives you a bonus episode every week and other exclusive content before other people see it. Some stuff people never get to see, and you do. So join us, www.righteousandratchet.com, and we'll see you at 5,000. Now enjoy the show. Charnay Ruth.
We'll see you soon.
We'll see you soon. You feel me?
Are you ready?
Ready.
What up? This is your boy, Doboy.
And I am Kevin Fredericks.
And this is another installment of Started Off on the Right.
Righteous and ratchet and righteous and ratchet.
We're right back again.
Right back in Kevo State Studios worldwide.
Yeah, we could breeze through that one. I might be able to drop that out.
Fix it in post. Put auto-tune on it, Josh.
Yeah, take his mic away. All right, guys, this is a great day.
A great day for
Dobithius.
You know how many people called you Dobithius last week on the weekend? Did you notice that?
Dobithius?
Yeah, because I said that in the thing.
You did.
I heard like 7 people call you Dobithius. That's your name. That's your
new name alert.
Dobithius.
I'll allow it. All right, so being as we do, we have a podcast here because all of us are a little bit righteous and a
little bit ratchet.
And we veer off the regular path. We don't always have to do what everybody else says that we have to do. So this is a special.
Who says we have to do anything?
I don't know.
We just don't have to always talk about pop culture.
Yeah, we don't always have to talk about things like that. We talk about our own lives.
Popcorn,
talk about ourselves.
Pop Tarts.
Pop Tart. What's your favorite Pop Tart?
Naked strawberry.
Naked strawberry.
Yeah.
Without the icing?
No frosting.
We should do a one gotta go with Pop Tarts.
Everything can go but naked strawberry.
Over cinnamon?
Yeah, I don't eat like fruit flavored Pop Tarts.
Dude, you understand what he's saying? He likes Pop Tarts without the icing on it.
You're crazy.
That's the best.
No.
I like my Pop Tarts like I like my one naked.
Oh. You weirdo.
What's your favorite Pop Tart?
It's the cinnamon one.
Really? Oh. I only eat fruit. I don't like chocolate.
I like them warm. I like them room temperature.
I don't mind them room temperature.
No one likes.
I don't like brown sugar ones. I don't like s'mores.
S'mores hurt my teeth. It's like my teeth be like, okay, this is a lot.
That's what hurts your teeth.
Why do s'mores hurt your teeth?
The s'mores Pop Tart. It's so much sugar.
Oh, the sweetness.
It's the sugar on top, and then it's marshmallow.
I mean, they all got sugar in them.
I'm kind of one of those guys. Marshmallow only for s'mores, fresh when you're camping. Marshmallows aren't a good
I can't think of another. I don't put marshmallows in anything.
Like that Rocky Road candy bar?
Did you guys
but they're good in Rice Krispies.
Rice Krispie treats.
And Rocky Road.
But even then, that's
I don't really like
properly portioned.
I don't like the mass-produced Rice Krispie treat. I like you make it at the house and you eat.
Oh, yeah, because black people go, the butter, the amount of the recipe that says butter and what we put in there, we'll decide how much butter goes in the Rice Krispie. It's like with Kool-Aid.
I ain't never just put a cup of sugar.
When I was like 8, I looked at the instructions. I was like, 1 cup? Who What are you talking about? At 1 cup, we just getting started. This party ain't even.
We just got to the
We
party.
just got with 1 cup.
it going.
before
It must
I
be
even
1
looked
cup at a
down.
time, you know?
Yeah, 1 cup at a time. So
So-
one time I made Kool-Aid with 1 cup. It was the worst thing ever.
It probably just tastes like colored water, right?
Yes. I want
It's
diabetic
G2.
Kool-Aid.
That's the
Side
original
note.
You know what's
G2.
funny? My kids never have Kool-Aid. They never made Kool-Aid in their life.
I think you need to culture them and give them. some
Nah, we
Kool-Aid.
off that, man. Capri
Side
Sun's
note,
the one.
what's your favorite Kool-Aid? I think mine was Charcoberry Fin. That's slept on.
What?
What?
Charcoberry Fin.
Was that like a special edition?
No, y'all never had Charcoberry Fin Kool-Aid?
I never
No,
even
and
heard
you're
of
not
that.
going to act like that's a common flavor because it's
Serena,
not.
have you had Charcoberry Fin?
No idea what that is.
None of y'all have had Charcoberry Fin Kool-Aid.
You know he got a special edition Kool-Aid.
Y'all
Sir,
are serious?
because you had so much Kool-Aid, we just gonna send this to you.
What, Kool-Aid reward points? Shut up. Y'all never really had Charcoberry Fin? Wow.
No.
It'd be your own Joshes and Kevs.
And Serena's.
Okay. All
The
right.
team is growing. Came on
What's
stage
your
studio.
favorite flavor, though?
There was like a blue ice flavor one time. It was like limited edition. Ice blue. Ice blue. You remember that? Anybody? No.
You strike me as more of a Calypso cooler man.
I never heard of that. Just red standard edition is good enough for me.
Whatever the flavor red was.
Whatever
that's
that
it.
was.
Just
on
red,
ice.
Just
Red
red.
on ice.
Yeah.
Available at Greens and Gravy.
Yes.
Where's Greens and Gravy?
Atlanta.
Oh, you didn't get to go.
No, I want to
You'll
put me
get to go this
down.
time.
Oh, he might not be able to eat though because he's trying to. He's
Oh, I'm gonna
he's
eat.
trying to beat you. you
Oh,
know?
let's give him a quick update on our weight loss.
Oh, here's the thing about the weight loss thing. I told Doughboy, I'm not going to be
Weighing every
weighing
week?
myself every week.
I am.
I mean, I'm going to weigh myself every week. I think for the competition, it'll be boring if it's like down 2, up 1, like every
I
week.
think that we should show people
Whatever
that.
you want. I think oh shoot, the scale's not here. I
should weigh
ordered the
yourself?
scales for here. No, I haven't weighed myself.
We should get a big scale like the episode
Like
in
the
the
Biggest
office.
Loser. We
I started at 315. Last week I was 308.
I
Kev started at 260.
I'm
He was
at
last week. He was at 255.
255. Yeah.
Okay. But that head is about 248 by itself. Come on, guys. Huh? All right. Well, speaking of things to drink, nobody was speaking of things to drink. This episode is going to be centered around a very, very special day in my life. We've talked about this loosely on the potty before, and now we're going to talk about it a little bit more into detail. On Saturday, what was Saturday's date? April. What's today's date?
It was the 7th on Saturday.
It was the
Today's the
7th?
9th.
No.
Today's the 9th.
Today's the 9th.
I don't be keeping
So
up with
yesterday was the
dates.
8th. 6th. So on April 6th, I reached my 500th day sober.
Fireworks, confetti,
Bing,
congratulations
bing, bing,
to
bing,
Doughboy.
bing, bing.
Dun, 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 dun.
Boom. And the reason why I wanted to talk about it was just because in my trials and tribulations with alcoholism, I just felt like it would be great to just kind of give people a bird's eye view of the entire story, the beginning, the middle, and the end, and why 500 days is so important. Kevin has been here alongside with me the whole time, and at a point in time, we were celebrating 11 days
11 days of sobriety.
and that was the big deal. So for me to hit 500 was just something that I simply didn't think that I can do. So I thought that it would be a apropos time
Apropos, I knew you were about to say that.
to talk about it and kind of let people into it. And I know I'll be quarterbacking this, but
I'm
chime in
here.
as you may. So I think to talk about how you get to 500 days sober, you got to even just talk about how you even got to having a problem. Everybody knows I'm 39 years old. First 30 years of my life, never drank.
Literally, no.
Literally.
Why you never drank it?
Because it kind of ran in my family.
Alcoholism?
Yes. My dad
You
suffered.
never told Kevin that?
Yes, absolutely. My dad had a real problem with alcohol. His father had a problem with alcohol.
Is that where the last name Belcher came from? We should just go by this.
So just growing up, I seen how alcohol could just tear somebody up. And I was just like, it just wasn't really for me. I don't know if it was that I was afraid of it, but I just kind of seen how people would drink and they would black
Yeah.
out. And like I said, like, growing up, I had like, a very, very strong church background as well. Like, you know what I mean? So I was a gospel rapper, and I just
What was
kind
your
of
rap name?
Doughboy. I didn't
You
move.
just
from-
kept it. You just kept it.
Yeah. But that was Doughboy for the Lord or Doughboy for the streets. It was just still Doughboy though.
It's universal.
What was
Yeah.
your rap group though?
The Committee.
The Committee.
Yeah. So we had a song called Bounce for Jesus.
How'd it go?
Bounce for Jesus. Bounce for Jesus.
Hey.
Did it really?
Yeah.
That's why y'all didn't make it.
Yeah.
You have it somewhere
That's
still?
why we didn't make it.
Doboy
I absolutely
definitely has
have
it.
it.
Where is it?
I have it in lots of places.
On YouTube?
No. This was before YouTube. Actually, we're coming up on the 20-year.
Is it on microfiche?
I don't even know what microfiche is.
They actually put this on a vinyl.
Shut up.
Microfiche is the look like an old movie. Well, actually, when I was a kid in the library, you could look at old newspaper clippings.
I remember that.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, with the
Yeah.
mic, with
the
the, big
microfiche
magnifying.
thing. Like
I remember that.
That's microfiche. There's no way to put music on it. It was just a reference that you're old.
No, I got it. So, side note, we did our first gospel album 20 years ago, 1999. I'm old.
You are out in these streets.
All right, so back to
What was segregation like?
shut up,
Were you there when they wrote the Bible?
shut up.
Okay.
Hey Jesus, you wrote that wrong. Shut up. So, so in coming up, like I was afraid of alcohol, and it was just something that I didn't really deal with. So fast forward to me moving to LA when I was 30 years old. Actually, when I started doing comedy is when I started to dabble in drinking.
gosh.
So a lot of people
Comedy
don't
has-
understand.
Dude.
It's set up for you to do it.
Oh my god! I mean, so
Yes.
many. When I was coming up, so many comics had the whole like this persona, like I drink and I say crazy stuff when I'm drinking. Like,
or it kills my nerves.
yeah, there was a lot of comics who couldn't. Matter of fact, that's interesting.
Yes.
You almost were. I was one of the few people who. I'd say probably 60-70% when I was coming up were either drinking backstage or drinking on stage.
Yeah, a lot of people like drink to calm down. Like, and, and then you start to, because I remember I used to tell you this, you start to think your alcoholism somehow affects how good you do in comedy.
Oh, yeah.
So then people think I can't perform good without this. So I kind of like was flirting with it when I first started, doing comedy. But
What
it
was
wasn't.
your first drink at a comedy show?
Yeah, like somebody
remember
bought
what
me a
you
drink. I
ordered?
didn't even know what it was.
Before I used to drink at, I grew up very similar to you, church
Mm-hmm.
kid. Alcohol is bad as the devil. I cannot have it. I go to hell.
Mm-hmm.
But after comedy shows, white people especially, man, if they like your joke, bruh.
No, that's the
you gotta
thing.
let me buy you a
That's
drink,
how they
bruh.
bond with you.
Just please, bruh. And I'm
just
like,
the-
I don't drink. They're like, you don't what?
And then they'll start to ask you like why you don't drink, as if you should have a reason why you don't. So so that's what I was going through. So everything was cool, and then I moved to LA.
Wait, what was your first drink? You didn't say.
It was a Long Island iced tea.
Wow.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That was the first thing you drank?
Yeah.
Okay,
Somebody
funny-
bought it
It's
for
like
me.
all the
Funny
alcohols
story.
Yeah.
I
together.
didn't know what a Long Island iced tea was.
Uh-huh.
I thought it was just sweet tea with a splash
Oh my
of
God.
alcohol.
Really?
Tasted one day.
Woo.
Kev was like,
I was
I
like-
like it.
I bet you started acting all crazy, threw your bra off on stage, like, woohoo, it's a party. Oh my God.
I'm
a
trying
lot
to
of
open myself up
movement,
to
though,
you, and you just hurt
A
me.
lot of
Go ahead. That's a rough introduction to alcohol, though.
Woo, yeah. So, and I was and I really wasn't getting drunk, but then I would notice that when I did get drunk, I get super emotional.
And you're already an emotional
Yeah. So I'll
person.
tie into that
Boy.
later. So, when I first started, it was cool, whatever. Then I moved to Los Angeles at 30. Now, mind you, when I moved to Los Angeles, I left a good paying job at Wells Fargo Bank, the security of my family and friends, and I was like, I got to go out here and find out who I'm supposed to be. Now I'm in LA by myself, and so alcohol became a coping mechanism for the stresses of the world, and I didn't even understand what I was doing. Like I was stressed out, like I don't have any money. What am I going to do? I don't have any hookups up here. Nobody knows me. This is before social media really popped off. I moved here in 2009. So I just was just like drinking. I started drinking by myself. And I was already depressed about stuff. I remember the first time I got drunk, I bought a bottle of UV vodka.
Oh, that's a plastic bottle.
The
dude.
cheap
that?
stuff. It's cheap. It's cheap.
It's like it's like one of
You hear
the
that sound? She's making that's her kidneys remembering what it does to you.
it's like the $5.99
It's just-
bottle like at the liquor store.
Yes,
so you could
it's
just like
the
the
cheap
plastic
stuff.
ones, the
Straight
small
rubbing
ones.
alcohol.
Yeah, it's not as bad as Pompov. That's like the plastic bottle, but it's like there's a bottom shelf, and then underneath there is where they sell, the UV. So I remember getting that and getting some cranberry juice and just drinking it, and then like getting really emotional. And then I would start to like relive my past. 'Cause I already had like a traumatic childhood, and I would just like start to tap into that. So now I'm drinking in LA by myself on somewhat of a consistent basis, but I'm still just thinking, oh, I'm good. Because I think people think alcoholism looks a certain way. I think if you think about alcoholism, you think of a guy outside of a liquor store.
The movie
Yeah.
dad who
brown
can't get his
paper
life.
bag. Or
Yeah.
something. You know what I'm saying? You
That's
think
actually a good point. I don't think because you were an alcoholic for the majority of the time I knew you.
Right, and you didn't
I
even know.
Had no
Until I vocally
until
said.
you were like, "Hey, I'm an alcoholic," and I was like,
how, but how?
"I never seen a paper bag."
Right. That's what you be thinking. And
And the thing is, I saw you drunk a couple times, but I can't even say not more than like other people. Like I saw other people at ADD drunk a couple times. I wouldn't even have put it on you.
You see me drunk a lot of times. I used to handle it very
functional.
well. Very functional.
That's crazy.
functional
I was
alcoholic.
drinking like, remember when we were on Culver City? I used to go across the street, get them little wines. I used to put them in my protein shake. Like I was hiding it.
You're drinking wine with a protein shake?
Not with a protein shake, but in the protein shake container.
Like that's
I want
counterproductive.
to get gains and drunk.
What?
So-
you used to drink during at work?
Yes.
Really?
You remember such and such?
Oh, I know such and such.
That came to mind.
But see, the
That
thing
came
about
to mind.
such and such used to be
Open
knocking
with
them
it,
back.
right.
And had I not seen that, I wouldn't even put that alcoholism on that said individual.
I was doing it too. I just put it in a different cup. And plus, I could handle it relatively well. Like you know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I would, so now fast forward to right around the time that we met. So for the first 4 or 5 years, I was flirting with alcoholism. I was
So
just
what do you think? What do you classify as like? And I don't know if they talk to you this in rehab or any of your classes. Like, what is an alcoholic? You know what I mean? Like
Right.
by definition.
I can only identify what I know, and I
From
can so
yourself?
so I can't tell you it's
For
for everybody.
They're not. Maybe it's not a blanket term, but for
what
you,
what I believe when you're when you're going into alcoholism, when you're drinking alone in massive quantities to escape an emotional mind state that you're in when you're sober.
wow.
So you're saying it's almost a cope of like, without this,
I can't.
I
have
only
peace.
feel this pain
exactly.
that I... Okay.
So it's like you feel this.
Do you have to have pain in your mind?
Well, for me, I did. Like I was running away from, you know what I'm saying, things in my
Walking away.
mind. Shut up. I was walking gingerly away.
I want this episode to make me cry, so I'm going to throw some jokes in here
Right.
to break up the sadness.
Right.
You running away from your problems did not happen.
So I was just sad about different things, and I hadn't let a lot of stuff go. And I think drinking let me feel those emotions, if that makes sense.
Drinking
mean?
let you feel them?
It let me feel it. So it's like you're ignoring something, but you know it's there. And then when you drink, then because I don't know if this was just me, but I would get drunk and listen to gospel music and cry. I don't know, like if every
No weapon! Corn nuggets, man!
so it's like
I'll prosper.
there was something, a very deep sadness in me, and then drinking would let me feel better, and then gospel music would somehow, so then now let's just fast forward to when I meet you, because this is where it really kicked off, and I didn't even understand, because I was arrogance and ego were a very, very big part of my alcoholism. So basically, in my mind, I can do whatever I want. Like there's nothing that, you see how I talk, like that's
You
not
can
an act.
beat me in a weight loss
I'm
challenge.
going to beat you in a weight loss
Shirt
challenge.
is fire, by the way.
Thank you. So
Chains? You might need to visit the middle of the mall and re-up on the $15. One of them gave up the
They
gold a while
they
ago.
shouldn't fade in 3 to 6 months.
300,000 on the neck, but we talking about serious things. So, hold on. Now I just lost my whole train of thought. Okay, so
Yeah.
So back to this is when it kicked off. Didn't even understand. So, when I got weight loss surgery, this was the
That's
beginning
right.
of the end,
Yes,
and that I didn't
I
understand.
remember.
And they
Yes.
tried to tell me, but my arrogance and my ego pushed all that to the side. They basically told me when I was getting the gastric sleeve to weight loss, they said, look, your overeating is coming from something else emotional. You need to address that, because if you don't, us performing this surgery on you is just going to take this away. This surgery can create dependency upon pills, upon alcohol. You need to go talk to somebody.
You said it was something transfer
Transfer of addiction.
A transfer of
They
addiction.
told me this. They said you should go see a therapist. There's a taboo about therapy in the black community. I'm like, I ain't crazy.
barely breaking now.
Right. You know what I'm saying? So
Especially among men.
my- I
men
think
and,
men in
and
general,
church.
not- right.
Oh yeah.
If you go to church, this is
It's a
breaking
gray
now.
area. It's a
but
gray
it's like,
area.
oh no, just pray for that. Like therapy is like,
Seriously.
Or talk to your pastor about it.
or talk to your pastor about that. And nothing against pastors, but they're like people are licensed
They're not
counselors for a
all- right.
reason.
Exactly. So like there's trained professionals to help
Right,
you.
right.
I didn't want that. In my mind, I'm like, I'm good. Like, you know
Ego
what I'm saying?
first reaction.
Exactly. So I get
make that a thing.
I get the surgery, and then now the comfort that I was getting, because I was up at 4. When you met me, I was 485. I was finna say hi to 500. Forget the 500 club on the Patreons. I was finna be 500 in real life. I was just really, really big and unhappy, and it was because there was a comfort that came. This is what I learned later in life. When you go through trauma, as a child, you start to feel like there's things that are out of your control. So when I was a child, 11, 12 years old, a lot of things were happening in my life I didn't have any control over.
Right.
Family things, different things happening. And so what they say that you can do is you'll start to find something that you can control. Like, and as a child, it was food for me. Like, I can control what I eat. Nobody can stop me from doing this. And so that's what became my medicine to feel better about what was going on in life.
Yeah.
So fast forward to life. So now I get this surgery. And so now I can no longer do the thing that always brought me comfort, which was overeat. Because now I've had a surgery.
Yes.
Now that thing that used to make me feel better, I no longer can do
you
it.
overeat. You couldn't. You literally couldn't.
You remember when I would
remember.
eat 2 bites of food and be like, I got to go to the bathroom, come back with bloodshot eyes because I just threw up what I ate because I was still trying to eat and stuff. So now I took the thing that was helping me away.
Right.
And this is the craziest thing. I was unable to eat, but I was absolutely able to still drink. Massive amounts still. So now I'm drinking a fifth a night, 17 shots
I was gonna say,
a night.
how much? How big is that bottle?
It's 750 milliliters. It's like it's a regular sized bottle.
Okay, the
But
standard issue, like
standard
Hennessy.
issue fifth, right?
17
shots.
Not the ones with like the bigger ones. They
The
call them
bigger
a handle,
ones,
'cause
yeah.
it
But
usually
that's-
would be
that's-
like the
they-
bigger bottle.
right? So 17 shots. Don't ask me how I know. I just wanted to know how much liquor. That's another way you can
Every night?
Every night by myself though. Every
Were you
night.
just like pouring a
I
shot?
would just no. I wouldn't know. I would just drink it and then it was just like the elevation of it was crazy because it went from mixed drinks to. Then it was just, I got to the point where I didn't want nothing getting in the way of the alcohol. So I was literally chasing it with water. I was chasing any type of liquor with water because I was just
Is that
like.
even chasing?
Huh? No, it's
I
just.
mean, it's actually
it helps
actually
prevent
wiser
hangovers the next day.
It's
which
actually
is-
wiser for you to do that because alcohol
Dehydrates you. Right.
and you compensate with that with water. It's
Oh,
actually,
really?
Right.
Yeah.
That's
I mean,
that's
I'm
what
not.
creates hangovers.
It reduces-
Because it
reduces-
dehydrates you, right?
Oh, is that why you have a headache?
Hangover is exhaustion
Mm-hmm.
and dehydration.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And so that's what, so then that's what I'm doing every day. But if you can even tell, because I know that now, like, in hindsight, you can see it. If you could look at that situation back from hindsight, that's when my decision making started becoming more and more erratic. All of a sudden I show up, I just come to work one day, then I'm like, I'm getting married. Because you're always drunk and you don't even know when you're not drunk.
Dang, I didn't even know that.
This was the thing that my doctor ended up telling me. I thought that you drink, then you wake up and you're no longer drunk. It's not true.
Well, with the amount you were
with the
drinking.
amount that you're drinking, and with the fact that I had surgically a stomach that's a fourth the size of normal stomachs, it's sitting in my system a lot longer. So even when I wake up in the morning, they told me, like, if you would have got pulled over when you were drinking, thinking you were sober, you would have got a Dewey. That's what they call a DUI. And so that made me just trip out because there was times where I drove with my daughter in the car, not knowing that, oh my God,
Wait, hold on. Let me understand this. 8 hours of sleep passing, you would
I would still wake up. So they said basically because of where my stomach was and the enzymes in the stomach that I no longer have because they removed a large portion of my stomach, now it's just in my system. So even though I'm waking up and I'm still seeming coherent, I think that this 3 or 4 hours of sleep that I got did something. I was still very much drunk, probably legally till about 1 or 2 in the daytime.
And then you go back to drinking at 6 or 7?
Exactly. So it was like a non-stop.
How many days would you say in a month you drank a bottle?
30.
Every day?
Every single day. I didn't take days off. Every day. And so that's why then
For how long?
Until I went to rehab.
Hold up.
Exactly. Yes.
I didn't know it was every day.
Every day, bro. And I went. That's why it would be such a huge accomplishment if I can go a couple days. And that's another thing I didn't understand. I could have died trying to go sober the way I was going sober.
Nelson Ellis.
Yes,
the actor from True Blood.
Exactly. He tried to.
He died by going too cold turkey.
Exactly, because your body becomes dependent upon
Yeah.
it. So like my thing was like, so I was doing it every single day, so much to the point. I don't know if you ever know this. Maybe Josh, maybe Serena, y'all might have known. It was so bad. Like I would dap somebody up in the 11 o'clock in the morning. They'd be like, "Whoa, did you just take a shot or something?"
Oh,
it would be sweating
remember
out of my pores.
We'd be working out.
And you'd be like, "Woo!"
I'd be like, "Man, you hit the bottle last night."
And it just be
You'd be
coming.
like, "Oh, no, I ain't having much. Pure Hennessy sweated out of your
You
pores."
should probably get my sweat and get a shot. So and
Now,
then,
you absolutely that I do remember.
right. So then it's like, then if you look at my life around that time, then the decision making starts to become very erratic.
Chain purchases, just like.
So
But
then,
I never put that marriage with
Right.
that. But it
It
was
was-
when you came back from rehab. I'm not rehab. I'm sorry. When you came back from weight loss surgery,
I was just different.
you were.
I was
absolute-
operating and I didn't even understand it. So then, and what I'm talking about, like there was a young lady that I was dating, and then all of a sudden I just came to work one day like, hey man, I'm getting married. And I think everybody thought I was joking. And it seemed like a good idea at the time. I was just like, I'm
So
going to do this.
And you remember? I remember you.
And I would get mad if you questioned it, like, why don't y'all
walked around
respect?
the office
Yeah.
and was like, this is AD in Culver City. Do y'all think this is a good idea? Literally every single person was like, absolutely not. People were talking about it like, yo, you hear dope, man? Talk
And I'm
to him. I
brand
remember
new.
talking to Josh like, and Josh was a baby at ADD. He was like, I don't
And
usually,
I'm brand new at the job
I
at the
don't
time.
usually speak at this, but I don't think it's a good. Sid was like, come on, fool, man. You should be doing that, man. But everybody was like, bro, don't
Because
do
it
that.
made no sense. It was, I hadn't been bringing her around.
Not only that, a month or two prior, you were talking about marrying a whole
A
other.
whole nother-
Kev, this is my wife.
Yes.
What happened to that girl? She's
was-
out of my life. This is my wife now. Like, hold on. What
Yes.
about the other girl? Away with her.
That's what alcohol does to your mind. It doesn't even allow you to know how foolish you
Yeah,
look
yeah,
when you're doing
yeah.
certain things. So now I'm married, and like, you know, like that was one of my biggest regrets because I really feel like I hurt someone. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like my irresponsible thinking embarrassed another person. So because 84 days later, I was like, nah, I'm out of here.
Sorry.
I just I just left like.
Did you have
I
like
was-
a clarity of a couple days when you were like, what made you come to that decision when you were like,
I got drunk one day and I was just like, I don't even want to be here.
it's
I'm
that-
gonna go ahead and leave. Like it was just.
And you were commuting
was it
from
that bad?
And I was
Riverside
commuting
this time.
from way in the
from
east. Way in the Ontario.
Dynamite?
Like
Yeah,
IE.
it was
Oh,
far. The IE. Let's say the IE. Far. 2-hour commutes. Yeah. So
I remember when you were like, man, if I leave. So bad.
Oh man.
I remember the way you rationalized. You're like, well, if I get I hit my old roommate up, I can just get back to North Hollywood.
but that's how your mind thinks. Like my
Yeah.
mind didn't even process. You just married somebody. You weren't ready to be married. You know what I learned in rehab about myself?
What?
I had low self-esteem. Low self-esteem.
And you got such pretty
and,
eyes.
and insecurity can have you feeling like you need to be validated by a woman. And I didn't understand that at the time. I'm thinking if I'm with this beautiful woman, now I'm better. Now you accept me.
God, so much of you just made sense.
That's just
You, let me tell you something about Doe. Okay, he surprised me. Big guy. The women Doughboy was able to have relations with surprised me. I was like, oh, what? And it was like only, you remember Shallow Hal?
Yes.
No. You remember the other guys? When Will Ferrell's wife was like Eva Mendes, and they were like, what?
the whole movie was like, how?
And he was like, she's ugly. Like, that was Doughboy. Like, he was not like dealing with your average. And this is LA, like actresses.
Oh, yeah.
He would show me the texts. And I'm like,
How,
and I
though?
never thought, like, I know you're a handsome dude, but like,
One thing Doughboy is confident
oh,
in his game.
My
Women love that.
God,
Yeah.
he was just like, and success rate
Volume
out
shooter.
of this world, right? But at the same time, they were wild tripping you out. But it never clicked that the whole validation thing
Right.
came from you. Like, ooh, look
gotta
at me
think-
with old girl who
Right.
you've seen in this movie, or who was a wilding out girl, or who's on this. I mean, it was like,
No, it,
girls that you were with have movies released this year.
I mean,
And I remember, oh God, at my 90s
a lot of
birthday
stories.
party.
oh,
I don't even
Oh
want to
my
tell you
gosh.
how many. You hollered at one specific girl twice in 2 different times of the year. Were drunk the first time, hollered at her again, and didn't remember. She was like, Doughboy just shot a shot at me again.
for real?
Yes.
I don't even know who you're talking about.
I'll tell you
off-
later.
We'll
I'll
tell
tell
you
you
later.
later.
Yeah, when the camera cuts.
I'll tell you later.
Really?
Bro, you shot her with, let me tell you who should be together. You and me. I and you to Gus. Estamos usted.
Guster?
I'll speak Spanish. So you were just like, wildly shooting your
Wild.
shot. So you didn't, you first of all, you shot your shot at 14 women at my
Right.
birthday party.
Absolutely.
And then didn't remember any of it. Like, man, what a
And
party.
that was the-
it over?
And that was the thing too. It started to scare me because it was like I would get so drunk and black out. That's what I'm saying. Then you don't even remember.
Sid's Super Bowl party. Your
Sid's-
first relapse.
Yes.
You
Okay.
told me. You want to tell the story?
No, I'll tell you. We're getting to there.
Okay.
Okay. So then boom. Now I'm just an active alcoholic. Now this is all through 2016-ish. I'm trying to slow it down. Then I meet a young lady who's just like, in my mind, is the love of my life. And she's like, look.
Just like them all. Don't worry.
But I thought this was for real though, right?
You thought everyone was for real.
That's why I'm trying to remember which one.
Everyone.
this the big one.
Pick a name out of a hat.
The
It's
big
her.
one. You know.
Oh.
The one.
Yeah.
Okay. So I meet her and I'm like, hey, and she's clearly out of my league like most women
They
are.
all start out.
And
But
she
are
tells
they
me,
really?
well, she tells me straight to my face, I would never date an alcoholic. I'm like, well, I'm no longer an alcoholic.
As of
Didn't even skip a beat. I renounced the stuff. I'm off the sauce today.
he's like, I'm done.
So I tell her that, and in my mind, and so then we start dating. You didn't even think I could get that one. You were just like, there's no
This
way
is
in
when
the
I
world.
used to not believe in you.
Right.
After that one, I was like, I need to think differently of him.
So then now I'm with this woman, and this is where the shift starts to happen. Because now I'm with a woman who I know, who I, in my mind, think this is the woman I'm supposed to marry. And now I'm hiding this thing from her. Because she told me from the rip, she don't deal with it, she won't
Right.
tolerate it. And I'm like, well, so that became our only issue in our relationship. Like, I would just do it behind her back. She would be smelling it out my pores. Like, did you drink? I'm like, no, bro. Like, so then it became, now it's like she thinks that I'm supposed to be stopping for her. I'm trying to stop for her. Can't, whatever. So then now my life is becoming unglued. I'm making poor decisions. There's points where I'm walking around the office at all death with a Hennessy bottle in the middle of in the middle of a shoot.
Two Hennessy bottles and no shoes on the floor of, not the production floor. And not on the part of the office where all the comedy people and music people hang out. You walking by the executive with Hennessy. You're doing a great job. Spreadsheets, huh? Clickety click click.
I remember
numbers,
sometimes you used to
numbers.
look at me like, "Doe, what are you doing?"
Bro, I used to be like,
and I was just yelling in the office.
You have no idea how loud you are talking.
Yeah.
You don't see how many people are looking. Because remember, at this time of ADD, there was the comedy and music team. We had the time of our lives.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, so loud.
All the time.
Literally push-up competition, races. There's so many times I'd be like, is this
What
a
is it?
job?
Yeah, exactly.
The other half of the computer spreadsheets hated us. And you were on that side. The rule is keep the loudness on the right side of the office where the talent part is. And you were like, no, spreadsheet team, I look at you. Hey, what's that? Excel, I excel, glove, glove, glove.
And that's where it was really getting.
They were slacking me.
Oh, yeah.
Kevin,
And you got to get your
can
boy.
you get Doughboy?
And a lot of those times we would go to lunch, I come back sauced up. All the time.
Happy
All
hour.
the time.
Let
Happy
me
hour.
pause this and
Happy
tell
hour.
you my frustration. I know you're going to mention this in your
It's
story.
okay.
I've never been more mad at work. This is not about you.
It's okay.
It's not your fault. I mean, Doughboy's going to get to the story, part of the story where he goes to his first rehab and it gets shut down by the feds. This is literally, Doughboy's life is the only person that
It's
can
a
happen.
movie. It's literally a feature
Literally,
film.
he told us this. I was like, he's lying. The next moment, it is literally on the news, on Twitter. Like I'm like, this dude rehab facility really got raided by the feds. They were running some sort of like
Insurance
illegal scam and
Yes.
drugs. It was insane. And this was not no like cheap rehab. This is like LA, like prestigious. He comes home from rehab, his first day at work. And some of the upper management takes him to happy hour.
I knew you weren't a real alcoholic.
Buys him margaritas. Luckily, I didn't know about this till after. But some of those
sauced
people
up.
never respected them again in my life. Like, fam, how dare you? Oh no, this one person who I lost all respect for in the world. A real addiction is heroin. But actually, I think he was an alcoholic too.
Absolutely. I told you that.
Your boy.
Oh yeah.
If you look at his mannerisms and put him next to mine, it's like same person, different face.
That's probably what
Loud,
it is.
talking about nothing,
He's talking about literally
ups
just
and downs, emotional.
random outbursts of sounds
Yeah.
in meetings. Like, fam, was that a sentence? Straight vodka.
That's why I can tell now. I can look at people and be like, ooh.
But I was like, fam, you are literally the worst. But anyway, go ahead.
So now I'm in a relationship with this woman and I'm trying to get clean for her. Note
a message.
to self for anybody. You cannot get clean for anybody but yourself.
Yeah.
I have a daughter. I had a girlfriend. I had friends. I had family. It's never going to work if it is not for you. People just got to understand that. So anyway, boom, now I'm like ruining this relationship with this amazing woman. And I'm just like, because like I remember one time the first time I met her parents, she had went out of town. I don't even know if I told you this story.
No.
She had went out of town and I was supposed to FaceTime them. I used to wait till she went out of town and get drunk. And then I would like duck her calls. So then for some reason I forgot to turn my ringer off and she FaceTimes me with her parents. I pick up the phone sauced. Sauced. I'm like, hey, mom and dad, what's everybody doing? Woo-hoo! I remember looking at her face. She was so appalled, like
That woohoo.
Anthony. She was just like Anthony. She was livid. So I'm going through this thing with her, and then I'm starting to realize. This is when I start to realize I might have a problem. And I think you've seen this one time, and I think I texted you about it. Side note: Kevin's such a great friend. I didn't text him so many times and called him so many times. Even drunk man, you never judge me, man.
Drunk man. Yeah, that's me.
You're a good guy. But remember that time we went to lunch and we were at sushi, and somebody asked me to pass them the soy sauce, and I passed it to him, and my hand was shaking.
Yes.
And they was like, "Yo, why is your hand shaking like that?" I'm like, "I don't know, man. It's cold in here. It was summertime." What happened was when you become dependent on alcohol, like right around 3 or 4, if I hadn't had a drink, my hand would start shaking.
And it was like
Visibly,
yes.
my body would start shaking. So that's when I started to. I remember one time I was hanging out with a young lady, and like she was like, "Yo, like, are you cold?" I'm like, "No, why?" She was like, "No, that's what it was. We thought that we were hearing a phone, like we were looking for a phone because it was like the bed was vibrating. So we're looking for a phone, and I'm sitting on the bed, and so she's looking for it. She was just like, "Wait, is that you?" And she like touches me, and like my whole body is shaking. And she was like, "Why are you shaking like
Dang.
this?" I'm like, "Oh, I don't know, man. I've been working out." I would just say the dumb
that
stuff.
doesn't even make sense.
I would just say things. So now I'm starting to realize I had a problem. So now let's get to the point, the thing that put me in rehab for the first time. I got drunk, and it was right after we had did the studio, actually. Because I stopped drinking to do the studio, and then I started drinking after. So then I got drunk, and I'm clumsy by nature anyway, but then for some reason when I went to the bathroom, I tripped over something and fell into the toilet.
I remember that.
When I fell into the toilet, I'm a big dude, I hit it so hard, it came out of the ground. And I remember like there was water everywhere. Teddy was at my house at the time. I remember cleaning up the water, and I remember but I didn't remember falling. And then I was just like, bro, my face could have went in this. I could have died with my face in the toilet. Like that just would have been crappy.
Yeah.
And I was just like, no pun intended. I'll be here all weekend in Cleveland. So I was,
great, man.
and that scared me. And so then I remember talking to you, and then my ex at the time. And so my ex was already like,
And you lied about that.
I did.
You came back to ADD where you was like, I don't remember what lie. I remember you telling us what happened with the toilet, and I was just like,
it didn't even make sense.
I was like, what?
I was drunk.
You like, I think you said I sat on it and it just break. Uh-oh. And I was like, that toilet, that doesn't happen.
I fell face first into the toilet and didn't remember anything around it. So then I was like, I started to be like,
you said you had taken a horny goat weed thing.
No. I think you're mixing up the stories. You want to tell us?
Was that drunk related?
No, that was when I was sober.
I thought that was the same story.
No. So that's just a whole nother story.
Okay.
I took a cheap horny goat pill and busted my face, but I was sober.
Oh, that really happened?
That really happened.
Had nothing to do with alcohol?
No, I took a pill. Don't take cheap Viagra from the liquor store. I don't even need to go into that story, but long story short, I passed out, hit my face, busted my face open. That was sober. Had to get stitches in my leg.
If you are doing that sober, you don't need to be drinking. You made that decision clear of mind.
Let me tell you what drunk logic will do. Drunk logic told me, see, now if I would have been drunk, I wouldn't have done that. You start to tell yourself crazy I used to tell myself I can't sleep without drinking. No, I had a bad mattress.
Yeah.
Shout out to Purple Mattress. But in any event, so now I hit the toilet and I'm scared. And so then my ex-girlfriend, she's like, you know what? And I remember talking to you. You're like, bro, just go to rehab. Like, And so I still wasn't ready though. So then she signs me up for the rehab. Now here's the rehab story. As soon as I get to the rehab, I'm like, something's wrong. You just get gut feelings about things.
Remember you called me and was like,
bro, something's not
something
right.
shifty about
I
this
feel
place.
like the people working here should be on the other side of the desk with me. It's just I felt wrong. So I'm there, and the whole time I'm judging everybody there.
Yeah.
Oh, you got problems for real. It was the worst thing for me.
Oh, the other alcoholics.
The other alcoholics and addicts.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, you do. And now you hear all these horror stories about what's going on in life.
Yeah.
Oh, I drank and, got a DUI. And none of these things have happened to me. I still got a job. In my mind, I just come home and drink after work. I tripped
So
over.
you
some-
rationalized it.
Exactly. And I seen people in there I seen somebody in there drinking hand sanitizer. There's alcohol in it. So I'm in there thinking like, oh, these people got problems. So then by the time I remember I was talking to the lady, to one of the counselors, and I was sitting there, talking about possibly leaving because I just didn't feel like I was getting helped.
Mm-hmm.
And as we're talking, all I hear is do, 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 do. And then I'm like, what is that? Then the next thing, just federal agents just swarming. Shut up, get down, shut up, everybody get out. Move, 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 move. Are you, it was just one of the craziest situations. So now we all get hauled outside. And they're getting ready to shut this place down. This place has, they were doing insurance fraud,
Literally all the
bunch of
crimes.
different things. So then, in my mind, I rationalized this. Oh, God must want me to drink. I don't know why I thought that.
is
I just
like
did.
insane.
So then I leave the place. They
I
said
see you, God.
I leave the place, and so I go home. Somebody who was staying at my house, who shall remain nameless, they had left a bottle of Tito's vodka in my room.
That's
Mind you,
just-
I go to rehab for alcohol. I come home, you're sleeping in my bed, and you leave a bottle of vodka. Downed it right there. As soon as I got home.
Really?
First day out. Back drinking. Drank that whole weekend. Came back to work that Monday drunk. Don't know if
From
you knew
rehab.
that. Had to Uber there because I was drunk. So I don't know what people were thinking. Like I had wrote this long email to the whole half of the company. I was drunk when I wrote that. I did gotta go and get my life together. Bye.
We thought Doboy was just bad at writing emails.
Bruh. So, and then I come back, and the first time you see me, I'm drunk. And then people that I'm working with are taking me to drinks. That was
That's
in
crazy.
itself. At that point, I think I lost the patience of my girlfriend at the time. She was done.
Oh, yeah.
She was just out of there. Like, I'm done with this.
yeah.
And now I'm just Now I'm going super duper hard, like every day. Another thing that I failed to mention: the summer of 2016, when Russell gave me that $15,000, I was drinking every day. Can't tell you where that $15,000 went. I was drinking a fifth of Hennessy alone.
That
every single night.
15,000 didn't even last the summer.
It didn't last summer.
All summer 16. Didn't
was
even
gone.
last all summer 16. You know how hard it is to spend $15,000?
It's not as hard as you think
It's-
it is.
Well, you're buying a lot of lobster garlic noodles.
I was
and
buying-
everybody's your friend when you get 15 because you was on the gram. Shout out to Russell, man. 15K today. You was eating
Drunk
and
every day.
living it
Oh.
up.
So now
Everybody was living it up.
Now I'm drinking every day after I get out of rehab the first time, thinking it's all a farce, thinking I don't have a problem. Fast forward to November. Now is when it's starting to get really real.
This is when I almost fired.
So now it's just starting to get to the point where I'm drinking every day. My reputation is starting to be sullied. Like everybody starts to
One
know.
thing I can say about you, even when you were drinking, this is probably why I didn't notice. Somehow you always were on time to set and you were always funny. That'll tell you a lesson about Hollywood. People do not care what you are doing as long as you show up on time and you perform. And this is me included as a producer. What you do with after your time don't matter to me. Your call time is 8:30. If you're 8:30, you have your. I remember one time I was directing you, and it was. I was directing you. I was on set with you for Dormtainment's thing. This is the first time you were
was
late.
the day after I relapsed.
You're right.
So let's tell that
You
story.
came back. You came on set.
and I was just
You didn't know you were on set. Now, mind you, this was a TV. This was a TV pilot, basically.
But
for
let me give the prelude up into that.
Prelude.
So I was with that girl at the time, and I had done 62 days
Yep.
sober. I got it right. Went to the Super Bowl. Mind you, she was asking me to come with her to church to go with her, and I remember just being like, I don't want to go. I was just so arrogant, like I don't want to go to watch Super Bowl at church. I'm just going to go to my friends. Go to Sydney's party. Get a beer.
there?
You were there.
It's
You were
next
there.
door. I live there.
So I get a beer and I'm babysitting a beer. I'm just going to hold this. But you have relapsed far before you put that drink in your mouth. So I knew I wanted to relapse, but I just wasn't vocally saying this. I remember it was halftime. It was 28-0. And then somebody hands me a shot. I'm just like, what will one shot do? I take a shot at Jack Daniels. Next thing I remember, it was 28-0. The Patriots were beating the Falcons.
28-3.
Falcons were
That
beating.
was a crazy comeback.
28-3.
28-3 at halftime. Next thing I remember was waking up on Sid's lawn and everyone talking about how great the game was.
I remember you
and
told
then
me
going
that.
home and drinking, and then waking up late and rushing in a frantic. We had to Uber there because I was too drunk to drive to get there. Now you can tell.
You were
the story.
late to the set. This was a humongous production.
Oh, yeah.
You not only did you not know your lines, you appeared on set as if you did not know you were supposed to be an actor that day. They were literally like, you got your lines, and you were like, lines.
I was drunk.
I get it.
Because I hadn't drank for 60 days, and then I got drunk the night before.
And here's the thing. You were late. Luckily, the production was also late, so nobody really noticed. And I was just like, fam, you're like 2 hours late. And they were like, yeah, am I? I was like, but the production was so late that nobody noticed. And when the camera turned on, you were so...
Turn it on.
You were so funny. Nobody even was any the wiser. They didn't even care that you didn't know your lines because the lines you just said random stuff, but it was funny. I was like, this guy's hilarious. Director loved it.
And then there was a
finished
time...
your shoot and you left.
Remember there was a time when I kept trying to get a raise and they wouldn't give me one?
Yeah.
That's I went home and I was like, you know what? I went home and wrote 90 pages of content off Henny.
And great.
Drunk. And
You're like, I'll show you guys.
30 of it turned into the studio. So, okay, now fast forward to November. This is where it hits the fan. So I was dating another young lady and I was just going through a bunch of just mental trauma of what I thought was happening. And somebody had introduced me to a Xanax. Now, mind you, all the other time I had been drinking, it was just drinking. Now somebody gave me a Xanax. They gave me a Xanax when I was sober. They said, here, just take this to go to sleep. I'm like, all right. No. Oh, I had some really, really
Is that how
good
you take
sleep.
Xanax?
No. So this person ended up giving me like 5 or 6 more. Like, here, well, whenever
Xanaxes?
But listen how they gave it to me. It wasn't even a recreational thing. It was just like, if you ever need to go to sleep, here, you have these, take these. They'll help you get some
They're
rest.
trash for that, by the way.
Yeah.
You had awful people around
That's
you.
an awful person.
So she gave me these, but she wasn't giving them to me like turn up. So fast forward, I'm going through stuff. We went to New York. Me and you, that's the thing. We had our first argument over that one situation. We won't even get into that. So now I'm sitting there and I'm drunk and I'm stressing out over this other situation. And as I'm drunk, because people ask me, was I trying to commit suicide when this happened? And I wasn't. I didn't even know that you weren't supposed to take pills and alcohol. Maybe I did know, but whatever. I'm drunk now. I'm drunk off a fifth of Hennessy, and I'm like, oh man, I'm sad. And I remember I was listening to Her, the album Her, and I just got all depressed, and I was just like, I want to go to sleep. Where's those pills at? Now I have these 5 Xanax. I remember taking one and didn't feel anything because
you were already
I'm drunk.
intoxicated, and
so
you took 5 Zanzibars?
Yeah, well, the pill. They were in pill form. I don't know if it was bars. They were little pills. Oh, but it was 5 of them. Took them all. Went to sleep. Probably. I can't tell you anything that happened that weekend. I don't remember. Apparently, this other girl that I was dating came and took care of me. She told me I was yelling, trying to fight some people. I don't even fight. I don't remember nothing. So then I wake up that morning, and I know that we have the season finale of Roasted. I'm walking to my car, and I realize I'm too drunk. I can't. So then I end up having this girl come instead of calling an Uber, and she makes me like an hour late. And so I missed the whole shoot. That's
more than an hour late.
Right. So that's when I seen Kev, and he was just like...
You missed a whole entire shoot, and I was so mad because you had never in your life been more than what everybody else is 20, 30 minutes late. And usually when you're
finale,
late...
we had flew in somebody.
Yes. And usually when you're late, you're like, oh my... It was always like I don't know if you were lying or telling the truth, but it was like, hey, this happened, that happened, I'll be there in 20 minutes. And you were pretty much always on. But you had said be there in 20 minutes like 3 hours ago. Yeah. And I remember we were shooting live at this time. So we're like, okay, we should just start the episode when Doboy gets here. We'll just bring him in like he's from detention. 45 minutes in, hour in, you never showed up. You showed up after the episode was over. And that particular talent had cost a lot of money, and then you just didn't make the episode. And the said producer was, oh man, you think I was mad.
Whew. So
producer was mad. It was tag team on you.
And then that's when you came and you was just like, and I felt I had let you down so much.
Oh, you did.
And you were getting ready to fire me. So this.
And here's the thing you don't know. Prior to that, people had been coming up to me and like, bro, your boy like you are. They were telling me you are borderline a bad leader because you're trying to hold me accountable. But where's your boy at? And on that day, I got so many looks of like, I've been telling you.
And then that's when you pulled me into the room.
Bruh, and I didn't even know I was literally like.
I thought you were gonna do it.
I can't tell you how close you came to being like.
Oh, I knew. I thought so. Then I'm praying at this point. I'm like, because all death meant the world to me. And I was just like, God, I can't. And I knew I had a problem, and I knew it had to stop. And I was scared because of these pills. Mind you, that was a lot of drugs and alcohol in my system. So
well, I didn't know that.
I'm sitting there praying as you're pacing and rubbing your hands on your thigh, and I'm like, he's about to fire me. So I'm like, God, look, I know he's about to fire me, but please, if you could just give me one more chance, I'll go to rehab. I promise I'll go. And then the next words you say were, look, bro, you got one more chance. Peering. So at this point, I'm really just saying that I'm going to go to rehab to keep my job. Because I thought rehab was a farce. I thought it was fake because of the experience that I just had. So I didn't even believe in it. I didn't believe in rehabilitation. I was just like, I can buy myself some time if I go. That's really the only way. It was right around Thanksgiving. I was like, it just kind of, so I went down to the CEO at the time. I told him what the situation was, and they showed me so much support. And he was just like, he wrote me a check personally to cover my bills, for the time I was gone. Said, don't worry about your job. You're going to have a job when you get back. So I'm like, okay, cool. So I remember going to the rehab. This was the moment that changed everything for me. I was sitting down because I didn't realize how far gone I was. Like, even when I went to the airport, I got drunk at the airport. On
your way to rehab?
On my way to rehab. Like, I was drinking, had all these drugs in my system that I didn't really, understand. When the first night that I was in there, and the first 3 to 5 days are really difficult because your detox, that's your body, it's all flushing into your system. And I remember faking like I was asleep. I remember just being so uncomfortable. And there were a couple of nurses in there. I don't even know if I ever told you this. There were a couple of nurses in the room and they thought I was asleep. And they were talking. And they were just like, girl, did you see his chart? See how much Xanax he had in the system? He might not make it. Like, they was just like looking at this, like, he might not, like, we might have to stat him and send him to urgent care. Like, they might have to. And I remember in that moment, it kind of just hit me like, what are you doing? You can die, right? Like, that's a very hollow feeling to have someone talk about your life as if it might end. And there's nothing you can. And then it just started to hit me like, what if I never get to go say bye to my kid? What if I never get to go apologize to anybody I might have offended? What if this ends tonight because of something I'm doing to myself? And then I remember, because I've always had a strong relationship with God, but I don't think I've ever really fully surrendered everything like that. Like, I think I always do it like with provisions or whatever. And I remember finally at that point, I was just like, God, I can't. I'm not going to be able to do this. I'm going to die if you don't help me. Like, I don't have this figured out. I don't have the answers, and I don't want to die. So please just let me know whatever I need to do to get out of this. And at that point, I felt like he was in the room with me, and it was just like, I don't know if this was me hallucinating. Maybe I was still drunk or whatever, but it felt like I heard a voice of God like, now is that hard? Like that God had just been waiting for me this whole time just to say, I don't have this. And and then at that time, then it just became like, okay, let's figure out how this goes. So then I was just like, let me just get one day sober. Like, I might not make it out of rehab. I might die here, but at least let me just get one day. And then I made it one day. And then I was in detox for 11 days. That's how much stuff was in my system. You're never supposed to really be longer than like 3 days. And they monitor you. Like, they got you, had me to a bunch of machines and stuff. So for 11 days, I just went through all the shakes and withdrawals of going through alcohol. And then I made it that 30 days. I remember you would call me, we would talk. And that's why like our relationship is just so much of the way it is, because at the time I did not think alcohol was something I could beat. I was just like, this is just going to have to be something that people accept me for. I can't stop. So the fact that you never judged me every time I messed up, going to rehab, whatever, you never looked at me any type of way. I would just be like, hey man, I'm doing it now and I'm gonna be sober. You'd be like, all right. Like, it was just, and there's so much power in that because I felt like you believed in me when I couldn't believe in myself. So then coming home, it's just a very sobering feeling. Like, the girl that
change the subject. No,
I was just saying.
My eyes are welling. I looked at Josh. His eyes are welling.
But no,
Serena's trying not to make eye contact.
It's just
right. jokes.
It's just one of those
uncomfortable.
It's one of those things to where I didn't think that I had it. I didn't think I was going to pull through. And, you just being one of the people there, just like, and then even when I came home, like, me sending you a text message every morning, I know might not have meant as much to you as it did to me, but I had that was just, it meant everything in the world to send you that ski emoji, and you would just hit back like, that's what I'm talking about, though. We 4 days in. But you hitting me with just the enthusiasm, like, and then when I came home, it was like, that's when the reality kicks in. The girl that I was in, she's gone. She moved on with her life. You got to accept that. You got to take that L. And then I had to just go through every emotion. Yeah. And that's why, even with that pregnancy scare, the reason why that was amplified so much, because I was trying so hard to stay sober.
And I remember you telling me something that really clicked for me not long after you came home. You were like, the reason like stuff was harder for you is because you were like, this is the first time I'm able to like feel my feelings.
I have to.
Because you were like,
I don't get to
before,
run
if I
from
feel
it.
feelings, I'll drink
good.
those away. You know what I'm saying? Before I have
Right.
to deal with it, you were like, I'll stick my head in the sand. So you were like, man, this stuff is really hitting me because I got like,
It's life.
yeah, I was watching This Is Us. I don't know if you caught up on this season or if you watch it at all. And
I'm not
and
caught up on the season, but I do love the show.
okay, so this particular season, the guy who plays Kevin's character, Kevin, he goes back and forth with alcoholism problems, right?
Right.
So I remember, and this made me think about you. Doesn't really spoil it that much, but he went to rehab one time. It spoils a little bit, but not bad.
Right.
He went to rehab. He comes back home. He's clean for a long time, right? So his sister goes into emergency labor, right?
About the baby.
About the baby, right? And he's drinking vodka out of a water bottle,
I've done that.
right? So his girlfriend at the time is like, they go to therapy later, and she's like, yo, like, how could you? Like, your sister's going into emergency labor, and, you know, we don't know if she's going to make it or not. The baby's going to make it or not. And you decide to get drunk? Like, you're drinking during this time? And he goes, that's the exact type of situation that makes me want to drink. Things that are like frustrating and scary.
Out of my control.
He actually said that. Yeah. Things that are out of my control it makes me want to drink. So, you know, and I had never really thought about it, like, because all we ever do, we being the non-alcoholics, we like, how could you? Why
don't you just stop?
And the alcoholics is like, how could I not? How could you like deal with this straight up? Like, are you crazy?
Exactly.
Like, you know what I mean? So I never really thought about it until that character said that. But I remember when I don't know how much you knew this. I think you probably were aware. You've always been really self-aware. When you came home from rehab the second time, you had, your ice was so thin at all. It wasn't.
As soon as I stepped in, all I heard was.
Let me tell you what. There was a restructuring happening, right, while you were at rehab. It was such a foregone conclusion that you would make a mistake that they had moved you into the like, we'll just fire Doboy once he does something.
He's DOA.
I mean,
he's DOA.
Dude, I'm talking about, I saw your name move from the stay spreadsheet to the we can't
excommunicated.
This is awful.
It's okay.
We cannot fire him.
That's crazy,
dude.
That is
worst part of my job.
Because now I know where I was in that spreadsheet. That's crazy.
I was in the room when they were like, Josh here, and I was just like, Joshy, Serena
Hello,
too.
darkness, my old
and I would be fighting. I fought for you guys, like, but Joshy does this and Serena. But poetry, guys. Remember, Joshy does poetry. But when you're the only one in a room of all the executives, then it's like I was getting drowned out. So your name, like, they would look at me like, Doughboy's gonna be gone, and that's what it is. I'm like, all right. And I remember I told you, like, so they were like, we can't fire him. This is so bad. We can't fire him while he's at rehab. But when he comes,
they wanted to fire me when I
foregone conclusion. When he comes home and makes his first mistake,
wow,
we'll just let him go then. 2 weeks tops, right? And I was just so when you came home, I told you
because I was sitting on the beanbag. You're like, don't sit on the beanbag.
On a beanbag,
you're like, don't sit on the
down.
beanbag.
I was like, Doe,
right?
Let me holler at you.
Right.
Sit up.
Yeah.
Sit at your desk.
Don't look
if
any
you
type
don't
of way.
Don't even anything that people were ready to. Oh, he did this. Get him out of here. Any complaint, any late.
One thing.
And when I tell you, you were like, after that beanbag, that's the last time I ever said anything to you about your performance at all. Devin, you were literally just taking a phone call. Like the rest of the time, I was like headphones on, laptop open.
And that's what.
If you are not on set, I don't care if you watch World Star videos all day. Luckily, that job, whatever you're looking at on your computer, you can justify. You can literally watch a season of Curb Your Enthusiasm and be like, research.
I'm writing.
And people will be like, oh, perfect. What season are you on? But, you know, so, and when you came home that second time, you had some clarity of focus that I had never seen. So then it was like, after a couple of months, they were like, yeah, I mean, he's really been producing like crazy.
Started getting a couple hits.
Then your name moved back into the maybe slot. And then it was like, hey, man, this guy is like, after like 3 months, they were like, this dude is like totally killing it. And somebody else's name was like, we'll throw that guy or that girl out.
And that was the thing. And that's, you know, in the conclusion of the story that I think that the reason why I even wanted to talk about this, because I know that there's people who still suffer from this. I mean, it's not nothing that just goes away. Like any alcoholic or anybody who's dealt with addiction, you know, the slogan is one drink is too many and 10,000 is never enough. That's really what it is. So just to know that my margin of error is 0. Like in 503 days, I've had 0 contact with alcohol. The closest I came to alcohol, I went to a party with someone and I was about to eat a cupcake, and seconds before I put it in my mouth, there's somebody, the DJ was like, "Oh yeah, man, the cupcake's got Hennessy in them."
That's such a weird announcement for a DJ to make.
Random. But I say that to say,
how'd you put that down? Because I know how you feel about cupcakes. Can I take the icing off?
Just one won't hurt.
What do you guys have for us then?
That's the thing that I want to be able to say to people is that it's not impossible. It is not something that it's just like how you said, people were writing me off. Like, it's going to be tough. It's going to be difficult. What got me through it, because people always ask me, what got you through it? And I never try to beat people over the head with religion or anything, because I know everybody has different views. It was God. It was me praying. It was just me saying, there was times where I did want to drink. I remember when I found out my ex had moved on, and you got to, you know what I'm saying? You got to just take it like.
And it's got to be harder to deal with your feelings when you,
because I don't know how, and I still can't eat like I used to, and I can't drink, and I gotta just
take them. That
you gotta deal with life
face.
on life's terms.
Because you had been sticking your head in the sand about everything.
I lived
and
with
also
it.
not. I mean, everybody has their own struggle, but Hollywood is a rejecting, beat you
deal with
down
an
type of
unnatural level of rejection.
Unnatural level. I'd be like, bro, are you even good? And I got crazy confidence, but when you audition and they don't even tell you about things,
Hit you with the just.
and you never hear nothing, man. I'm telling you, bro, I auditioned for that Netflix show, man.
Woo.
And my sister-in-law works there, so I'm like, I ain't heard back. I know it's a good thing. I got it. She came back one day like, oh no, we started shooting that. So there was no callbacks had been made.
It's you can swallow sadness.
Oh man, I'm like, but I have followers. Yeah, and they pick someone with no followers. Not famous. We don't want you. We want him. You stink at this. And there's no other way.
You.
And the thing that's crazy, and we sat on the other side of the table.
Right.
Sometimes it can be like, we really wanted somebody who was 6'4" and he was 6'3".
It's never
like
nothing.
when you have talent is the least of their concern. Talent.
Everybody got
in the
that.
studio, and it actually helped me feel so good about it because we saw. Remember, we were casting this one girl. For the lead female character, we saw literally 20 women who, I mean, you literally have your pick of
whatever.
If I wanted a dark-skinned woman, I could have her. I want a big girl, thin girl. This girl's more funny. This girl, like, talent was the least of the concern. I think we remember we settled on the girl we chose because we wanted her to be like more around the way feel.
Right.
I mean, we want more of an around the way feel. I remember we didn't pick someone because she was too pretty. She's too pretty. We'd never believed that Doboy would have a chance with her. Remember?
Yeah.
In the meetings, they were like, that just does, and it's like, person never knows that their ability has
nothing to do with it.
Of course you could do the role, but we want someone a little bigger or a little thinner.
Or a little whatever.
But when you don't get that role, you just be like,
it's me.
And imagine, bro, there's so much. And I don't even go out for stuff that much. But somebody do go out for it. I don't get it. That's why we're in the office. I was like, you know who can't reject me? Me. This is my YouTube page. I can get every role I want in my
out of me.
I get every role in the movie I write. I'll show you Hollywood. But it is an industry that
absolutely.
You don't have to deal with that amount. When I worked at Boeing and at most you maybe don't get a raise at the time.
Right.
But it's not like, hey, you're not good at this. Nobody tells you that. When you don't get an audition, somebody said you're not good enough to get this. Best of luck. Remember, some people we went on to TV shows and we're just like, what do we know?
Stupid, egg on our face. But just over the past 503 days, man, it's just been an awakening. I mean, I feel more in control of my life. Like I don't miss it at
your
all.
Clarity of focus, your jokes, your decision
People haven't
making.
been telling me that, like, you're funny. I'm like, I'm funny.
And it's crazy because you thought you weren't going to be funny
I
enough.
thought alcohol was making me funny.
But if you think about it, part of what we do, especially at ADD, it's improv and it's quickness. And if you're always drunk, you're just not going to be as quick as a person who's thinking clearly. So when you are off the sauce, I be thinking of a joke and you're already you're saying it. And then my funniness is be like, be quiet. Don't already hit you. Don't already hit you. You will listen to this. Shut up. But
it just changes you in so many different ways. And that's why I even wanted to take some time just to even talk about it, because I feel like it's important. And I know that you always get uncomfortable when I tell you this, but you,
I really I know you say this.
You're changing the
I wanna
subject.
tell
so
you.
No,
hard
it's
right
it's
now.
in this, it's
And
in
I'm
this
glad
vein,
that you're
Josh.
bringing-
I'm gonna tell you.
Right.
I know you don't feel like this. I really don't feel any level of responsibility
Let me
for
tell you
your
why.
success. But let me tell you why. I'm gonna tell you. I didn't do the work. All I did is cheer you, like, my boy, I got you. 11 days, yeah.
And let me
Like,
tell
I didn't
you-
have to deal with the dark nights of the soul. I just, hey man, you good?
But see,
Like,
that's
so
the
that's
thing
why
that-
I
but
think I
you're-
just don't want you to put it on me. I think
No,
you
no,
did
no,
other
no,
work.
but that's
Okay,
why- that's why it's very, very
We gotta
important.
cut. We gotta cut.
we cutting?
No,
Oh,
I just didn't want you to talk about it.
No. So this is the thing. This is what you don't understand about it. Alcoholism is a dark disease. It's like you're in a room by yourself with the lights off all the time, and there's such a light about you that just didn't judge me. Like there's so many people who will probably never talk to me again, or just people who the woman of my dreams just bailed out on me. Like, and just to have a friend in you that just won't judge you, that just won't look at you like you're trash and you're not gonna make it. And I was at a point where I'm like, I don't even think that I can do this, but my friend does think I can do this. I don't want to let you down. So it was just something, it was such a tough time. And I'm like, bro, I'm not making it out of this. Like, I started to plan it in my head, like, how is this going to go down? And then there's this dude we're not related. Blood doesn't bind us. And you were going through your own things in life at the time. You're on a full tour. You're a husband. You're a father. Every morning you hit me back on that text, and I'm telling you,
I hit you sometimes when I ain't get it by 11,
right,
12.
exactly.
Hey,
What's up? Like, so it's like,
oh, I was asleep. Yeah. I could pull up.
So that's the thing, because everybody asks, like, well, did you go to AA? Different things work for different people. Your brotherhood to me definitely helped navigate. I know I had to do the work, and I get that. But you got to also understand, I didn't think that I could do it. And the fact that you believed in me at a time when I couldn't believe in myself meant the world to me. So then, it went from 30 days sober to 60. Then on my 100 days sober, you took me to this crazy,
I regret that wholeheartedly.
You know what I'm saying? Just to hit 100 days. So then, then it hit a year.
Wait, is Nobu 100 days?
No, it was
that
a year. The year when we hit.
Oh, we with Ruth Chris on 100.
Ruth Chris, but that's what I'm saying. But just that bill was still, some bread.
But
So
they had nothing on Nobu.
and then at a
Nobu
year,
would tap, hey, Cat, what's up? Oh, you think you living? And that's the thing.
hit you with the gut tip, like,
When I got that bill, it was
Yeah.
like the Incredible Hulk punched me in the stomach.
Yeah.
Like, how much is it?
like, yeah, but you ain't gonna drink, right?
I almost started drinking. Like,
I can't deal with the stresses of this bill. Like,
the kids were looking at me like, Dad, you okay? And I was just a little woozy.
but that's
Melissa
what
was like-
I'm telling you, that support was more support than I received. I didn't nobody was checking, like, much like how people at the job was like, he gonna mess up again. People in my personal life were the same way. And you were just the one person that was just like, all right, dog, let's go. And so now,
It's very longer.
503 days, I just feel like a much better person.
And
I
I'm
wanted
taxing you now.
Oh, yeah, we about to
now
go out to dinner
Doboy's
tomorrow.
taking me out.
Oh, yeah, 'cause
for
we-
steak. Zay and Joe, what do you want on the menu? Porterhouse?
and that his kids order like
Zay,
grown-ups.
let me tell you who's bougie.
Zay.
Isaiah Fredericks.
Yes.
Getting ready to go to Hawaii. Hey, Dad, just was wondering, where are we staying? The Ritz. Thanks.
No, the other
How do
day,
you know what the Ritz-Carlton is?
the other day when I was babysitting and I was like, hey, what do you guys want for lunch? Can we do Chili's? Bruh, Carl's Jr. Jack in the Box is what it should be.
One time I picked them up from school. Doughboy. 3:30. They're both in the car. Would y'all want something to eat? Yeah. What? Wendy's? Benihana's? Benny who?
Rack of lamb. Like, what?
Benihana? Benihana's ain't no 3:30 pull up to Benihana's.
On a Tuesday?
You can't go to Benihana's when it's light outside.
But that's good. I feel like more black kids should have that in their
No,
lives.
less.
No.
I
That's
need
good.
you to, when we were coming up, remember how exciting it was to go to McDonald's?
Oh, yeah, that was
We
it.
can go to McDonald's? Oh my gosh, McDonald's. Benihana's? Who asked for that after school snack? Let me the surf and turf, please.
Frederick boys.
Medium well. Do you guys tend to overcook your meats? Or what's on the selection today?
Let's hear your wine selection. You're 11.
Just want to see
You're
what
right,
your
you're right,
restaurant
you're
is looking like.
You're right. But no, man, just to encapsulate and put in the envelope, man, anybody out there that's going through that, get some help. Get some professional help. Get a good friend in your life that won't judge you. And just know that you can beat it. I know it seems insurmountable. I know it seems impossible. But that's one promise that I made to God in that hospital room. I was like, man, if I make it out of this, I'm gonna keep it on the straight and narrow, and I'm gonna tell people how I made it through. So that's what I wanted to do. Thank you for allowing me to talk to everybody about this, and I am excited enough and happy enough to celebrate 503 days sober, but humble enough to pray for 504.
Oh, come on and bless him.
Because that's where I'm at in life.
Okay. Do you want to do one gotta go, or is it
I
too
don't think
solo?
that we need to. I think it was. Do you think we should?
I think that's a good standalone piece.
Yeah. This is.
No one gotta go?
Let's just. What's got to go? Hennessy, beer, vodka, or tequila? All of them.
Pop-Up.
They all got to go. How about that? But no, man. We can just let it. We
man.
talked about some heavy stuff and.
Shouts to sobriety, man.
Don't encourage him.
Shout out to Nut. That used to be my little mating call. Of this used to be sauce it up. So yeah, so now I drink a lot of water, and I people always ask me too, like, how do you stay sober? The first couple of months,
Hold on, let me tell you.
pick your
I know-
people, places, and things very, very carefully. Like
Yes.
I wouldn't go certain places.
I remember
like,
helping you with that. That part,
Oh, yeah.
I was just like, "No, you don't even be."
Don't even
because
play.
people, man, the people around you were
yeah.
so trash, just totally inconsiderate of where you were in life. Like, bro, you got to be with people who are not gonna like. People like the people at the job who are like, "I'll take you to happy hour." People
yeah.
who are like, "Oh, let's party."
Enablers
man.
is what we call them.
Yeah, I remember you were telling me. Yeah, enablers. You were telling me some people were like, "Bro, it ain't even that serious. Bro. Take
Exactly.
a little." Like, I'm trying to remain sober. Take a
yeah.
little bit of, just take a little sippy sip.
Yeah, you good. You ain't really. I remove those people from my life. That's why I'm glad I have people like you in my life, people like Josh, you know what I'm saying, people like Melissa, just people that if they were to even think that I was drinking, be like, yo, whoa, like would check me about that. Because
Yeah.
some people will let you slip. So anybody that's going through that, I would just implore you just to get some help. Don't try to do it alone. And don't be ashamed. This is a disease that feeds off of embarrassment and shame. And so you never want to tell people what's going on because you're ashamed of it. Nah, I speak up about it because if it can help one person get out of it, then it was all worth it.
And one thing you said to me, and it's funny because after you told me it, I was like, man, that's such great advice. And then I told you, you're like, I said that? Doboy said there's so certain amount of time and energy everybody has in their life. And sometimes people think I need more time or more energy, and really you just need to redirect
Your
the
energy.
energy you already have. And I was like, man, that is so good, because I was like, man, that's great. And I could just do this to work out and more videos and stuff. And I told you that. You're like, I said that?
That came from
I
me.
think you were drinking when you said it.
Yeah.
But really, like, you being sober hasn't created any more hours in the day for you.
It just makes it.
But not wasting hours of the day literally physically drinking, and then like the rest of your night where you can't be creative or like.
Exactly.
So now you're freaking writing movies. The podcast is living. You're back on the stage.
Living my
like
life.
you've been steadily getting funnier and funnier on stage. And I told you before, I feel like no one that I know can touch you on like just conversation wise, say funny stuff. Doughboy has said the funniest thing on the road this week. I was texting this girl, man. I don't know what this girl did, but Doughboy was like, man, I'm sick of these girls, man. They're all trying to make a fool out of me. I'll be the one to make a fool of myself. I laughed for like 30 minutes.
You thought I was gonna say
you were
something
gonna
really
say something profound. Like, I'll be the one to make a
I'm
fool
gonna
of
cut you off.
myself.
I'm gonna cut you off, ma'am. Let me do the job for you.
I'll be the one messing up. I do not need your help. And I had tears in my eyes because like I just did. It was so funny. So anyway, like I'm really happy for you.
Thank you, man, and
I'm
thank you for
taxing you tomorrow night.
Yes.
Oh,
thank you
Yeah.
for the part that you did play. You definitely helped me
don't
more than you
talk
know.
to me about me.
Appreciate
I
you,
don't
man.
He just gave your hold on. He just
DZ
gave
does
your
that.
head a high.
Your head is
Easy.
meaty as hell.
DZ does that all the time. What up, coach? Get your hand off of my head. You report to me while at ADD.
Just palmed
Hey,
your
good
head.
morning, man. And it always, when I had a fresh shave, it always makes that like
Yeah,
sound.
the swoop.
Like, get off of me.
I like this.
DZ does that all the time.
Feels
I'll
great.
sock him.
But thank you.
Shouts to sobriety,
Thank
man.
you all. Shout out to the Right Pack. Thank you guys for listening. Hope you
Oh,
didn't.
we always forget to mention the bonus episodes and Patreon stuff at the beginning of the episode.
Because we're stupid, though.
Well, here's the thing. If you're still watching by this point, we have a whole community going over on the Patreon. The YouTube comments work over there.
Over there.
We have, here's a thing that we're going to start doing. when we start going on the road, we're gonna start pulling up and having little pop up. Come chill with Kevin Doughboys
With the Patreon.
but you're only the Patreon people are gonna know where we're at. One reason is there's much less people over there. Because if I just did it on my Facebook, it'd be too
pandemonium.
too many people
Right.
And like too much to handle.
Hamdemonium
But the right
for you.
The Right Pack. You think that's funny, Josh? The Right Pack is a small community of people who really rock with us. They get double the ratchet every week, and we throw up other bonus content. We release episodes of other shows we do early, sneak peeks at stuff, like pretty much whatever we can give out to them early and often we do.
So please join them.
Join us.
Join us.
www.righteousandratchet.com. $5 a week gets you double the righteous, double the ratchet. You can get us 8 times a week at least. So rock with us. Next week, we will be shooting on location from Hawaii.
In Hawaii.
And this beach gonna get whatever body I give it.
And Kev already seen, we was on the road, we was shopping. He got him a little coconut bra that he gonna have for when he hit the beach. I'm already knowing it's gonna be lit. You doing your
I'm not dapping
thing.
that up.
He gonna be out there litty. So Hawaii, here we go.
Doughboy's gonna put an apple in his mouth and lay down, and we're gonna have a luau around him.
Out loud laughs for that. Sarita.
See, dollar rotisserie.
So we'll see y'all next week from Honolulu, Hawaii.
I have
If you
been
live out there,
Doughboy.
I've been Kebons.
And we're gonna leave leading to the left. It's been righteous and right and right.
Bye bye.